the intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome back. It's Thursday and Incursions have returned, as well as my rough voice. So enjoy a slightly deeper, slightly more bassy, maybe baritone, whatever those words are, edition of Star Trek Fleet Command. Today, we're going to be going over what it looks like for Incursions on the APAC servers. Now, I could have waited until tomorrow to do this video, but I decided to do it a little bit early, thanks to one help from multiple players on the APAC region. So thank you to those. The main one that we're going to be working with today is my friend Ratio from server 187. So big thank you to them. We're going to go over what it looks like over there. Have things actually improved? And what is the general sentiment from those who are experiencing the new form of Incursions? Keep in mind that besides my server that just had an Incursions last month, which was a beta test to make sure that scoring and everything worked, the Incursions run has not happened for most players in many months. So they've had a long time to try to rework this into something that they believe will be a fun, playable version. So what we're going to do is go over everything, and then I will give my own personal thoughts towards the end. But we're going to start with going over how the Incursion scoring has changed, the events, what's in the event store, and everything in between. To start with, let's go with this. So obviously, we have a new style where you have one invasion, like you just invade, and there's a defending server and an invading server. I don't know if the plan is to keep this long term, but it is something that they are doing right now. And here are the scoring metrics. Now, I've got the big one right here, damage, like literally hull damage, 1 point. And it's equal for both sides. So what this means is you're going to have a little bit more value in PvP versus just pure rating. If you notice right over there, the rating metrics have been adjusted where par steel, titanium to lithium, a little bit lower, and you also have OPC hunting that counts as well. And then there's rating as a defender. So there are multiple ways to score here, and this is definitely a newer way to go through this process than what we're used to in the past. So now we have one only going to one server. So they're trying to sit everybody, all the peoples, on one server. And while I love rating as much as the next guy, I mean, hell, I've got merch that literally says live long and plunder on it. This is my mouse pad. It still was definitely too lopsided to make it really fair for everybody. So this is an attempt to try to balance it out and even it out with a little bit more of an onus on PvP and rating. Because if you're pulling several billion per hit, that's a lot, but you can also do millions and tens of millions of damage on ships. So really curious to see how that's going to play out as a whole. Again, not giving my opinions, just giving my overall thoughts. So if you have opinions, don't worry. You can see if they line up with mine here in a little bit. Now, this is how we have the basic structure, but let's go over what I think a lot of people want to know, which is the rewards, the event store itself. Is that any better? Well, we're going to cover that together right now. Thanks to, again, Ratio. Appreciate them. They were very kind. Just sit with me this morning. Even offered to let me, have their account and stream it, but I didn't. We don't do any of that. And since I don't want people knowing the accounts I have on other servers besides my main, we're using Ratio. So I appreciate it. So we're going to just scroll through. You can see there are some things that have been added, including Jadzia Dax. The fleet commanders are now there. Spock, 7. We've got, sadly, these are not all in order, but Locutus is there. Fleet Commander Kirk is there. All the fleet commanders are available. The Titan has been added. We've also got Special Frames, which has a slightly different currency. Just kind of note of that. Don't necessarily worry too much about. The Defiant is in this store. We have Dominion Solo Armada Directives, which are extremely pricey. Like, real quick, don't do that because you're not getting much in this currency form. So be very, very careful about what you're spending on. We've got more frames. There's Locutus that I mentioned. Here's Benjamin Sisko. You're going to notice a lot of the DS9 officers throughout the store and the events. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Y'all can kind of let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think about the rewards as we're going through them. But remember, I'm going to wait to the end to kind of give my feedback. So there's Jadzia Dax. There's Spock. All right, we start from the beginning. We had to scroll down because limit in terms of how many things that we put on the screen at once. We got Rhodinium particles, again, low value item, but the Mantis is still there. And in terms of maximum scoring, we're going to add it up together, but it looks to be 3,000 is the amount of Incursion coins too that you can earn, which is a little bit higher than previous. But anyway, let's keep going. You got the Pocket Watch, which again, different currency. Then we're going to have Odo is in there, another of the DS9 characters. We've got another avatar, Incursions humanoid armor. Meh. I mean, it's whatever, I guess. There's Kirk, another avatar, and then we get into the Strange New World Una, who was there before, but she is still present. Strike Team La'an, Strike Team Ortegas, and yes, indeedy, right after, Strike Team Una. For those curious, no, Explorer Strike Team and Intercept Strike Team are not in the event store, which is a big surprise. For some reason, they added the Deep Space Nine characters, but not the other strike teams. Like, I know I'm not trying to give my feedback yet, but literally the entire point of Incursions was PvP and the strike teams and sourcing and Mantis. So where the heck are they? Anyway, there's Strike Team Una, and then you got Condensed Venom. In terms of pricing, you know, 200 for rares, 400 for epics is pretty consistent, no matter if it's a strike team or a regular officer. Then we get into these. We do have our exocomps. Now, the exocomps are really nice. If y'all haven't checked these out before, they can be very useful. Keep in mind, a little bit of a limited timer on them, but they're really, really large. And you talk about the value of them, the loot one is probably the one that most people are going to focus on the most. I'm clicking through these kind of fast so y'all can see them. We do have to get to the events, but PvP, Eclipse, etc. This is the big one that everybody loves, the hostile loot one. Let's get into the actual events structuring. Here is the Invader Damage SLBs. So there are SLBs and XSLBs. You can see we're going to go through some of the scoring and what you can win. Una got Syndicate XP, which Syndicate XP is always great, but in terms of a leaderboard, this is just creating damage as a defender. This is a PvP leaderboard. We're going through the various rewards as you scale down, and you can see the rest of the ranks there based on what he has. Keep in mind that he is level 49 on server 187. So there are your rewards in total for the various ones. And then we're moving on to our Infinite Incursion XSLBs. So we got SLBs and XSLBs, and this is for PvP wins. So lots of spamming, I guess, here, where this is part of where you're getting your subspace relays. Yeah, most of the relays seem to be locked behind a leaderboard event, which is not something I like, but again, we'll keep moving. You see, here are your, here's the Champion XSLB leaderboard, going through some of those rewards right here. There's your Invader Damage leaderboard. Lots of leaderboards, and granted, they're all built around PvP, which is what Incursions is supposed to be, so not necessarily too frantic about that setup. Lots of Una shards, XP, etc. All right, let's move on down to the next sets. There's another of our Infinite Incursion XSLB for the champions. But here, let's get to our all-out attack. So this is from the attack side. This is what you can earn. This is the top reward for an SMS. So there are SMSs, not just SLBs. And here are 500 of your Incursion coins. This SMS, if you've completed, will pay out 1,000. Pretty sure 1,000. We'll check the math here real quick. Really weird and not very good rewards in terms of materials and such, but we'll keep it going. There's another 250 right there, another 150, and then another 100. So looks like 500 plus 500, that's 1,000. So there you go. There's Incursion coins. Again, rewards seem kind of meh, but we'll just keep moving. Let's move on down to the Expert Researchers, ALB. Now this one pays out, well, there's an officer we like, but again, where's the rest of them? Also goes to Axionic chips. You can see the various rewards as they scale down depending on the rank. Then we get the Vessel Special. This is a ship XP event that is paying out Bashir shards. I have no real issue against it, but I am curious, where are Explorer Strike Team, Intercept Strike Team? So there's Bashir. Then we get to the Events Completionist ALB. So this is an Alliance one. Will pay out Trade XP and Harrison shards. I mean, still a semi-useful officer in today's game. Not super useful, but semi-useful. And then that'll wrap up that set of slides. And then we'll come down here for kind of our totals. And this is what we get for winning as an invader. 2,000 Incursion coins, 750 subspace relays, some Una shards, and then the Incursions trophy. That's it. Like, them's the rewards. There you go. And just to give a little bit more in terms of, for those who are curious, shout out to another one of our users here on our channel. It's Navik. They created this quick spreadsheet tracking what they're trying to obtain, like the fleet commanders, and going what you're expected to actually win. So at 3,000, considering what the high cost is for a lot of these, you're talking about this taking many, y'all can do the quick math here. You need 82,900. You're getting 3,000. Quick math, long ass time. So rewards still seem really low. And see, that was a big thing where they talked about, hey, feedback on that was that rewards had to get better. And we were really harping on that they had to incentivize rewards to get better for us to really just get excited about this. And sadly, it doesn't seem to have been a big piece of feedback. And as we just kind of scroll through here, I wanted to show you, just as we're going through various feedback in my Discord, it's not exactly super lovey-dovey. I mean, it's just kind of more of the meh, more of the bland. And honest to God, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I don't feel that this was bad. Yes, things have improved, but overall, meh. Like, the rewards are still bad, which was like the biggest piece of feedback. And we also talked a lot to them about, hey, when you're doing all this PvP, Tritanium just kind of flies out the window. We need more Tritanium, and none of the events pay out Tritanium. Ones that do pay out materials and resources are very low. So again, you're relying on packs to buy the Tritanium you need to make up for it. And yes, there is a repair pack available inside. Yeah, we've got packs, lots of them. So my honest feedback, even though I want Incursions to work, it is still nowhere near a rewarding system that encourages people to participate. If you're really trying to get people who like PvP, like myself, to want to do this, you didn't. And if you're trying to convert people who don't like PvP to participate, you definitely didn't. So, you know, the fact that we waited months, I will say, in terms of lag and scoring, that seems to be better. But if you really want this, I'm just talking to Scopely in terms of my opinion, this to be a long-term mechanic, like you want players to be incentivized to participate, this is still ridiculously lackluster. This is not something that's going to get the majority of the player base excited, and it's not something that's going to get the majority of player base saying, hey, I'm going to be a PvPer or I'm going to be a raider when I'm not. I'll be real. I'll participate because I like PvP. But end of the day, I'm going to lose resources again. The only kind of pro you can say in lieu or in terms of the rewards that we saw being offered, the literal only bonus is that you're going to be able to get a significant amount of Defiant blueprints, Mantis blueprints, or Titan blueprints. That's it. In terms of if you get 3,000 rewards, you can get a decent amount of ship VPs. You can get like 7. Yeah, 7. If you win Incursion, you get 7 epic BPs for an officer. 1 officer. The timetable is still several years to do anything of relevance besides unlock the ships, which I guess helps, and credit given to that. There you go. Y'all do with the information what you want. I'm still hoping that they do massive changes, but for something that this company has worked so hard at in terms of man hours and time, it's still just, for me, falling very flat. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Live long and prosper. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me. Catch you on the next one. Be out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.